Alright, this video is going to be a color pencil demonstration showing the use of layers, and I mean lots of layers, to establish your values and your color on your piece. I'm going to be doing a sphere just to show kind of that roundedness and to show just how to shade out a sphere, and you can kind of apply that to other shapes as we go along. I'm also going to be using a gray paper because number one, it has a pretty fine tooth, which means that it's going to blend out a little easier, and number two, the gray helps show the highlights. So you'll see that I'm going to be using a range of colors. I'm going to start with my lightest values first. So I have kind of that light green, those yellows, and those are just to base out the shape, but also to establish some of my lighter value areas. I chose to do a green sphere because I wanted to incorporate some yellows and blues just to show you that these color pencils really do kind of blend well together, especially when you burnish them enough to make them meld together. So burnishing is basically rubbing or using pressure to kind of rub things together. So you can see I'm basing everything out. Right now I'm doing it in a pure yellow. That yellow is not going to show as yellow, but it's going to get blended together with some blues and some greens to create some really sophisticated color. And I'm starting with really, really light layers. Nothing right now is going on with too much pressure. As I start getting more and more color on, I'll start applying more and more pressure. So right now I'm mapping in my lightest highlight. So I'm just using pure white, and that'll kind of get blended out into the area, but there's going to be one area that stays just pure white. Once I get my light values mapped in, I'm going to start adding my darker colors. My darker colors include an indigo blue, a dark brown, a dark green, and then just kind of a regular green for those mid values. And I'm going to kind of switch between these. Right now I'm establishing the core of the shadow with an indigo blue. I'm putting some yellow back into there, and once I get those colors mapped in, I'm going to start adding more and more pressure. I'm keeping my pencils really sharp. I'm using the sides of them, and I'm just working to get it blended together. I'm also going to plant a shadow in there using that indigo blue and that brown, and there it is. There's the finished product. If you have trouble blending some stuff together, you can always use a colorless blender once you get your colors on there, and that'll kind of help things kind of come together without adding more and more color on it. You can get sophisticated with your color by adding the colors complement. When you do that, it just kind of adds one extra level of sophistication. But that's it. That's your first challenge. I want you to use color through layers and get those really blended and really nice.